Right. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me in my little presentation today, which is designed to give everybody out there a little bit of good news with regards to the Golden Visa scheme in Portugal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a presentation with you. It's not a particularly long one, but what I'm going to do is just outline some good news for people that are potentially looking to move to Portugal. So while that's loading up, so there's an update on the Golden Visa scheme, as a lot of people would be aware. Recently, there's been changes to NHR in Portugal, which was obviously a bit of a shock, came out the blue at the beginning of last week. And that followed on from changes to the Portugal Golden Visa scheme. And that is namely that the property option, which was the most popular by a long way, is no longer an option in Portugal to get your golden visa, which actually makes it a lot more difficult for people. Now, the qualifying amount with the Portugal Golden Visa scheme used to be 280,000, and now that's been increased to 500,000, and that now cannot be done via property. Okay. So what we've been working on behind the scenes is really a way of helping people to obtain a golden visa in Portugal for a lower amount, and while still being able to involve property, because property is such a good part of anyone's portfolio and it remains very, very popular for people. So what I'll do is I'll go into a little bit of detail. As I say, this video is a lot shorter than my other ones. Feel free to subscribe and like this as well, and have a look at some of my other videos, which do go into a bit of detail about the NHR, about moving to Portugal. But this is a good news video. So what I've done on there is, you can see, you've got my telephone number there. I'm a senior wealth manager here at Holborn Assets. You've got my direct mobile telephone number there. So please feel free to contact me. You've also got my email address, which is sam.daines@holbornassets.com. So any questions with regards to this or anything else, please save that email. Also, let me know if you want to go onto my emailing list with regards to updates to Portugal, but keep that handy. And you've got, as per some of my other videos, a QR code. So if you scan that on your phone, you can book yourself directly into my diary, and it tells you what the available slots are. And you can literally put a discussion in there. We can chat through maybe in a little bit more detail with regards to the Portugal Golden Visa screen. I'll put it again at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to scan through on that. So again, there's not many slides on this one, but I think this is really important for people who are potentially looking to move over to Portugal. As I say, it's a very popular place to come to. And it's a matter of really trying to find ways that we can get people to do that. So as I say, let's start with the breaking news, as it were. As of the beginning of this month, the Prime Minister, Antonio Costa, made a statement on CNN Portugal, basically saying that NHR is going to go next year in 2024. We haven't had any other news on this, so we're hoping to get news filtering through. But as we know, as of next year, NHR will be withdrawn. And that might be at the beginning of next year, it might be the end of next year. It will have to go through a few hoops in order to get it approved. But ultimately, when they introduce things like this, it means it will be going, but it's just going to be a matter of when. But obviously, there's lots of process to this, so it's likely, I would have thought, to be towards the end of next year. As I said, I'm keeping an emailing list to keep people on. I know a lot of people have got in contact with me, and I put their names on there, so obviously I can keep you in the loop with any changes or anything that we're hearing with regards to that. But I presume a lot of people watching this will be because they have an interest in moving to Portugal. And there's obviously so many reasons that people move to Portugal, not just the lifestyle, but the tax benefits, which will continue to remain even without NHR. Don't be misled by that. Just because NHR is going, there's lots of tax benefits of being in Portugal. But NHR being withdrawn basically followed on from the withdrawal of the Golden Visa scheme in Portugal in its current form. So I will stress this, the Golden Visa in Portugal is still very much there, but it was the most popular route to citizenship in the EU was always Portugal. And the main two reasons for that was it had a very low entry point of 280,000. That was into property as well. So property was always a very popular investment type for people. The physical, having property is obviously very, very popular. Obviously, with Portugal as well, it's got a low tax regime with NHR. And also with the Portugal Golden Visa scheme, you can actually obtain your passport within only 5 years. and very little stay requirements as well. So it's basically 1 week a year. And after 5 years, as long as you've gone over there for 1 week every year and you hold a qualifying asset, you can then get not only your residency, but your citizenship, so a passport. And the passport then gives you all the rights. Now, I'm going to do a more detailed presentation on Portugal and the benefits of the passport and the residency, but make no bones about it. Having citizenship, EU citizenship through Portugal, which is one of the strongest passports, is a huge plus, and it's a huge benefit. So the golden visa qualifications for Portugal is now basically only available through investing 500,000 or more into a qualifying fund. Okay, now I'm going to come on to this, but this to a lot of people isn't as interesting as property. But as I say, behind the scenes, knowing that these changes have come in, we've actually put together something that a lot of people will be very interested in, because it does involve property and it involves, for doing it, a lot less than 500,000. Just before I go into that and give you a bit more details, just tell you a little bit about Holborn Assets. You can see this in my other video, but it's just very important to understand what angle we're coming at this at. So if you haven't heard of Holborn Assets, we are a global wealth management firm. So we were established back in 1998. So we've been going 25 years. We're a British family firm, so we started out there. We've now got many offices, over 20 international offices. We've got one here in Spain. We've got one over in Portugal. I work between Portugal and Spain. As I say, over 500 employees now nationally and over 20,000 clients. We look after actually over 2.5 billion in funds under management. So we're a very big company, and we do have an excellent reputation within the industry. So we've won numerous awards. We're rated excellent on Trustpilot as well. And first and foremost, we are a wealth management firm. So we look at what are good investments for our clients. More recently, obviously, there's been a real interest in golden visas and in residency, but particularly in light of Brexit, in light of the difficulties for people obtaining visas from whether that's the USA, Canada, or wherever that may be in the world. It's very difficult moving around when you've got to complete visas. There's restrictions on 90 days and 180 days, all the sort of things that go along with moving around Europe, and Europe being such a popular country to be in. Then what we've looked at, is how can we tally in having fantastic investments, but also tally that in with having the global mobility benefits that you get via a golden visa, or getting visa into a country. So around 6 years ago, we introduced Holborn Pass, which is basically a citizenship and residency program for all different countries out there. So not just Portugal. I work with Spain as well, but we have all over the world, whether that's USA, Dubai, Greece, St. Kitts, St. Lucia. We have residency and citizenship programs for all of these countries. But with all of these citizenship and residency programs, investment is the priority for us. It's making sure that we have good quality, solid investments that are safe, that we've done all the due diligence on, and we know that they're the best products out there. So that's our priority. In terms of golden visa and residency programs, we've actually done over 1,000 applications, and the majority of these for Portugal, because it's been an absolute major place for people wanting to move over the last number of years, but particularly in the last 2 years, because a lot of people obviously knew that this looked like it was going to be phased out, and we've had 100% success rate. So everybody that we put through to apply to Portugal, it's gone through. We know exactly how to get these through, and we are a one-stop shop. So when it comes to people looking for a golden visa, we do everything. We look at the qualifying asset, we set everything up, we fill out all the forms, we get the golden visa for you, we act giving you financial advice on an ongoing basis in that country, because we are fully qualified to do that, and people like myself are fully qualified financial advisors. So from this point of view, we do the whole package. But the idea of Holborn Pass is to really look at how can we get people the benefits of residency and citizenship through good, solid investments. And as of Friday of this week, which I believe is the 21st, then we will actually have all the literature to go along with this. But what I wanted to do is just put this out there as a sort of taster for people, really what we're looking to do moving forward. So our new golden visa offering for Portugal is incredibly exciting, and it's basically exclusive to Holborn. So again, it's something we've used our knowledge and our experience to put together. that represents an excellent investment, and it is unique in the marketplace. So you won't find this out there with anybody else. And we've used, as I say, our experience to put this together. Now, as I said, the current qualification for people looking for a golden visa in Portugal is 500,000 euros, and that's got to be into an investment fund. Well, obviously, for people looking at investment funds, that can be a little bit complicated. It can get people a little bit worried. And it doesn't involve property, which is really what people liked about the Golden Visa program in Portugal. So what we've done, and this, as I say, is very, very unique, is we've now introduced it that you can actually qualify for the Portugal Golden Visa for as little as 399,000 euros. Still a lot of money, but it's a lot less than the 500,000 euros that you are expecting now to do. And there's some more benefits to this as well, which I'll come on to. So it's 101,000 cheaper than doing it the normal way through the property fund. Full details are available on Friday, so I will be doing another webinar in a lot more detail, which I'll post on here, which will have a lot more details about what the investment is. We're going to have a lot of literature for this. Please, anybody that's interested, I think there's going to be a lot of demand for this. Please scan that QR code at the end or at the beginning, or email me, because it's really going to be very popular. But again, just basically how it would work, okay? We put together basically a fully regulated venture capital fund. Now, this fund itself in Portugal, we've used our experience of the developments that we were offering before to get people the golden visa. And we put together essentially a property fund that will oversee and manage phase 2 of the Óbidos development. Now, the Óbidos is one of the most popular developments in Portugal. It's essentially an excellent apartment building in Portugal that qualified for the golden visa. So the fund that we put together actually invests within phase 2 of the Óbidos development. And that's going to consist of 32 one-bedroom apartments. So this is why there's going to be a little bit of a demand for this, because there's only 32 being built initially within these funds. What we are doing essentially is anybody looking to invest to get the golden visa, instead of paying 500,000, you only need to pay 399,000 euros, and we will pay 101,000 euros upfront rental. So this is essentially being paid well over 3.5% per annum rental upfront on your investments to give you 101,000 rental, which when you add that together with the 399,000 gives you the 500,000. We've introduced a guaranteed buyback in year 6 to 8. So that is after you would have obtained your citizenship. So at that point, you will have your passport. You won't need to have the investment anymore. There is no risk to this because there is a guaranteed buyback. So you will get all your money back, plus you would have had that rental paid up front. Furthermore, if you are then looking to live in Portugal, you actually have the option of keeping the property. So at the end of the 6 to 8 years, you don't have to, if you don't want to exercise the guaranteed buyback, you can actually keep the property yourself. As I keep saying, the full details are available on Friday, but essentially what this is, it's a way of investing within property. It's a great way of diversifying your portfolio, doing it via a fund, and a fund is a qualifying structure to get your golden visa. So we've done it within the fund, but the fact it's property means that these properties will be built and you will have the option of having the property, but you also have a guaranteed buyback and rental upfront. So it is one of these fantastic schemes that we put together. It's a little bit of a variation on what we were offering before, because we were last year the top provider of golden visas for Portugal. And we put together a similar package that was more based not within a fund, but within actually buying the physical property itself. But it was done in a very similar way. This is a way that we've managed to put together that's a legal structure that is accepted in Portugal, that will qualify for the golden visa. And as I say, we would do the whole process of obtaining that golden visa, doing all the paperwork and doing everything for you. So it's a really, really good scheme. If anybody is interested in this, I do recommend, as I say, make an appointment, either scan the QR code at the end, as you'll see on this page. You've got my number there. You've got my email address. You've got the QR code. If you scan that, you can book yourself in and obviously have a chat to me directly about your personal situation. On Friday, I'll have all the literature. It's going to be Friday, so maybe the weekend, but it will be Friday. So we'll know exactly what the development at Óbidos will look like. You'll know what the property is going to look like at the end of it if you wish to keep it. You'll know all the figures in terms of the buybacks and the investment. But as I say, the main key understanding from this is you are able to do it for 399,000, which is over 100,000 less, with no risk, because you will essentially get your money back if you wish to exercise that after you've got your passport. So stress again, the passport for Portugal you will get within 5 years. So it takes 5 years. Once you've got that passport, you no longer need the holding asset. So essentially you can, if you want to sell your property, guaranteed buyback anyway, or sell it on the open market, whichever you'd rather. But once you've got that money back, you then no longer need to have an asset, but you will have an EU passport in the form of the Portugal passport, which is one of the strongest there. So as I say, I'll leave that there for a few seconds. Scan the QR code or give me a ring. I will do another video on this and organise some webinars. I get a feeling it's going to be incredibly popular, just because you can see, what it involves is a very, very good scheme. You've got the us as a company, which have an excellent track record. Anybody that knows about us or reviews us will know that. But you've also got an incredibly good scheme that's going to get you residency and citizenship. So as I say, use the QR code. I'll stop sharing here. That is very exciting news. We thought we'd bring that out for you, particularly in light of all the bad news, but all the changes that have happened to the Portugal Golden Visa scheme. So this is just a way of sort of offering something back. It's, as I say, ways to get your EU residency or citizenship in a very safe way for a lot less. So anybody interested, please let me know. I will be doing a webinar, so watch this space. I suggest either liking it or subscribing to my channel as well. I will do as many features on this as possible, but it's all good news, and I will have more details on Friday. Please drop me a line. I'm more than happy to help anyone and give you as much information as I know as well. But that is all for me today. But thank you very much for joining me, and keep an eye out on the channel. And I'm more than happy to help anybody that wishes to. Thank you.